Well, I don't know. Congratulations are in order, or what? We hear here in Slovenia that those who voted against the Lisbon Treaty are in very good lead.
I'm not sure of the exact figures at present, but my understanding is that we are leading and that we will win, that the people who voted no will be the majority. We think this is a very good day for the people of Ireland and the people of Europe. It's a day for democracy, a day for the rights of people as against the rights of big business, and a day for peace against the militarization of the EU.
We also spoke with some politicians, Slovenian members of the European Parliament, who suggested that the campaign in Ireland, campaign against the Lisbon Treaty, was very tough, very large campaign. Can you tell us something more about this from your perspective?
Various components to our campaign are the campaigns in Ireland. The one that I'm involved in is a campaign that criticizes the treaty from the left, that sees it as the means to bring commercial interests into public services like health, education and social care, that seeks to spend more on arms and to provide the legal basis for an EU military force which would intervene anywhere in the world. We don't think this would be for purposes of social justice or to aid the poor. It would be to gain access to resources that are becoming increasingly scarce and not favour the people whose countries those resources are in. We also think that the changes in the internal structures would be negative, that they would make it easier to pass difficult or unpopular laws. So that's been our argument. There have been other arguments put forward that there would be a loss of control of taxation. That's probably had quite a big impact, that argument. And there's been a smaller argument about changes in social law being influenced from the EU. We don't think there was any any substance to this argument, particularly in relation to family law or abortion. We don't think there's any substance to that argument, and I say that from having campaigned for abortion rights for many years in Ireland. Unfortunately, there's nothing to bring in the right to abortion in this treaty, so we don't think that was a very valid argument. Nonetheless, it may have had some resonance.
Let me ask you perhaps the final thing. Were there any debates in Ireland regarding the alternative to the Lisbon Treaty, who is only a reformed constitution of the European Union, which fell years ago in the Netherlands and in France? But are there any alternatives? Because as we understand, the European Union itself does not have a backup plan if Lisbon Treaty falls.
Well, they always say they don't have a backup plan. I mean, do you really believe a politician who says they haven't got a backup plan? So I think they have a backup plan. They will probably attempt to rerun a referendum here as they did in the past on the Nice Treaty. I think it will be difficult for them to do it in this case because we already had two Nice referendums and this treaty has been defeated in France and the Netherlands, so to bring it back again is difficult. I think they will probably proceed on the basis of Nice and may introduce a few protocols or changes, try and bring things in through the back door. And our focus will now be on linking up with other peoples across Europe for an alternative direction that stops the race to the bottom, that there's competition between East and West now, between the poor of the East, or the very poor of the East, and the relatively poor of the West. We think this is very bad. We want a different Europe where measures are taken to improve everybody's lives and not have them fighting against one another for jobs and wages. So we want to link up with other peoples across Europe We think there's a great gap between the political elites, the politicians, and the people that was shown in France, was shown in the Netherlands, and now here, where every political party except Sinn Féin and the trade and nearly all of the trade unions supported a yes, the trade union leaderships rather. So, we think there's a gap between the people and the leaders, and they must take note of that.
Just one sub-question to all this. Do you think that it is possible they will try to repeat the referendum as they did with the Treaty of Nice?
I think they may try and do that, but I think it would be difficult for them to do so. They said many times that there was no alternative. So it will be difficult for them to do that without significant changes. They may try and simply proceed and have Ireland not bound by the treaty. This maybe is a good way for us, and we simply say that we are an example to other European countries to break with the neoliberal juggernaut, and you can survive. And we try and link up with peoples who are not in favour of the way that the leaders are taking Europe.
So today's celebrations are in order?
We think celebrations for everybody across Europe are in order.
Well, cheers then.
Thank you, and very nice to speak.